guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a video that I'm excited about. I'm honestly super excited about this video, and it does have to do with transitioning. This is my story of how I knew I was transgendered, I guess you could say, or my story, like in general, like I don't really know. I just want to kind of give you guys like from the beginning to where we are right now of how I started, how I knew I was transgendered, and all of that nonsense. If you guys want to hear kind of my story, then just keep watching. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you guys have not already. Give this video a big thumbs up for all my transgendered people out there. And let's get into the story because it's going to be a long one. Let's start all the way back from when I was little. So I had known something was different about me since I was very, very young. In kindergarten, my best friend at the time, and still is to this day, we've been friends for like 20 years, which is crazy. So my best friend had kissed a boy in class, and I was like, I want to be just like her. I was like, I literally want to be her. So I went up and kissed the same boy because I thought like, well, she's doing it, so I should do it. So I was kissing boys in kindergarten, so I knew something was a little awry in this like little head of mine, but I just kind of kept going, and I knew something was a little bit different because every time like we would play games at school, or we would like play games like swimming and stuff, like I always wanted to be a girl character. Like I never was a boy character, never. I never wanted to be in video games. Like if I was playing with my brother, I always wanted to be the female character. I never ever played as a male, never. I just felt like because like in real life I couldn't be a female, so I wanted to like play a female in the game because it made me feel, and it made me feel like I was, I don't know, it's hard to describe. So, keep going, fast forward, I used to always wear t-shirts on my head and pretend like I had long hair. I always wanted to wear high heels, and I would always put my mom's on, and I was just like, something is different about me. So as I got older, kids in school, like middle school and stuff, would call me gay, and I was just like, I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay. I, for a while, was really like introverting myself, and I kind of like pushed all of my feelings like really deep inside me. But then I kind of thought like, oh, you know what, like these kids are saying I'm gay, I am probably gay, like this is probably what I've been feeling my whole life, and I should probably just like accept it. So I had known that I had liked boys like since like 6th grade on. Like I knew that I liked boys, so like that was never a question in my mind. I knew that I was into men. So high school came around, and I kind of like accepted the fact that I guess I was gay, but it still didn't feel right. The label still just didn't feel okay, but I didn't know what else there could be, so I just assumed that I was just gay. Like that was just it. It was all over. Hands done. Wash your hands of the situation. I was just gay. Fast forward a couple of years. I had been watching Gigi Gorgeous on YouTube forever, like since high school. And in 2012, I think, she came out as transgendered. And I had always looked up to her so much and felt like a really deep connection with her. I would always watch her videos every single week, and she would be in dresses and heels and makeup and all of that. That is what I wanted to do. I was like, no, like that is what I feel like I want. Like I want to be able to dress in dresses. I want to be able to wear like women's clothes. Like I want to be able to wear girls' clothes and like grow my hair out and all of that. So I was like really mimicking my life after hers for a really long time. Like I was starting to use the words that she used. I was starting to act the way that she acted, and I just felt like I felt at peace for a little bit, but then like there was still something missing. So in 2012, when she came out as transgendered, it was just kind of like a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, no, I was like, I'm transgender. Like that makes so much sense. Like I've always felt like a girl. Like I've just always wanted to be a girl and always just felt that I was a girl. That is what I had to be. So a couple years after she had transitioned or started transitioning, I had come out to the first person ever, which was my best friend, who is still my best friend to this day. And I had come out to her in a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot where I had told her I was transgendered. And it was kind of really scary because I wasn't sure how she was going to react, because I thought, you know what, I'm just this like sassy gay boy, and like everybody loves it, and like people are so accepting of gay people, but like transitioning and being transgender, that's a whole different ballgame that was so taboo and still not talked about then, that I was really nervous to tell people. So I continued to kind of secretly like start buying like girls' jeans, and I would start carrying purses and doing makeup and getting like my nails done. And my mom and dad were kind of like, why are you being so flamboyant? Like, this is not how a gay boy acts. Like, see your friend over there, like your friend is gay, but like he doesn't have any nail polish on and he doesn't wear any makeup and he doesn't wear girls' clothes. So like, why are you doing it? Like, no, like knock it off. Like, you need to stop doing it. So I did, and I went through this like macho phase, and I grew my facial hair out, and I started like cut my hair, I spiked it, and then I started living like a macho gay, not a macho gay boy, I was still like a feminine gay boy, but like I started presenting as like super male, like beard and all of that, and I was okay with it for a while, and I kind of just suppressed the feelings of being transgendered, and I was like, you know what, like, it's okay, like I can live my life like this forever. And then it came down to like dating people and hooking up with people, and I just would never, because I felt like I was so insecure with my body, and I did not like the things that were attached to my body. Like, my body wasn't what I had felt like it should be inside. Like, I know that that's exactly how they describe what being transgendered is, but like that's exactly how it felt. Like, I was like, I don't want to be ever seen with my clothes off. Like, I was like, I don't like my body at all. So I had went through like a really deep, like dark place of my life. Like, nothing too crazy, but I was really depressed, but I honestly just suppressed all of it so badly that like I just like started shutting down to people. Like, I just never opened up. Like, I was just kind of like put on this front of this like super sassy gay boy of like, I don't care what people think, this, that, and the other thing. And it was all just an act, obviously. I knew something was still up, and sooner than later it needed to be addressed, and I needed to do something, or I didn't want to live the rest of my life that way. So fast forward a couple of years, and I turned 19, and I decided that I wanted to transition. I was like, you know what, like, it is time. I have lived this way long enough, and I feel like I need to do this for myself. So I went to my primary care doctor, and I told her what was going on. She had no idea anything about like what being transgendered was. She just kind of like knew of it or whatever. And she was like, you know, I'll just recommend you to like an endocrinologist, who is my endocrinologist today, who prescribes me my hormones. So I went to him in May of like 2014, I think, and I had gotten on hormones for the first time. And I was on hormones for 8 months, and my parents were still not accepting of it. It was just one of those things that it was still really, really new, and we really didn't know much about it. And I think my parents just were really nervous that like I was going to be really ridiculed now because I was going to be changing genders, and it was just going to be a really, really, really struggling life for me forever. So they just kind of wanted to like scare me out of it, because they just didn't want me to have to deal with everything I was going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. So the constant like not support is the hardest thing in the world, especially when you're doing something as big as this, like transitioning. You need all the support that you can get, because it is mentally challenging, it is emotionally challenging, it is physically challenging. So if you don't have the support at home, it is not going to work. So 8 months after I started hormones, I had stopped them because I just couldn't take the like the negativity, and I couldn't take the constant like comments and stuff like that. Like, they really got to me. So I had stopped hormones, and that was the worst feeling in the entire world, let me tell you, because I felt like I was doing something for me, and like I was really, really making a strive to becoming the person that I was meant to be. And then I had to stop because I couldn't handle the comments of like family. I could handle the comments of other people, but when it came to like my family and stuff like that, I just could not deal with it. So I had went about a year off of hormones, and I had lived my life. I kind of still kept growing my hair out, and I was wearing makeup and stuff like that, and my parents were okay with that. They would make comments all the time about how like they were jokingly gonna cut my hair and like all of that, but my parents had realized that I was honestly getting happy, and I was happy being able to grow my hair out, and I was really happy to be able to wear makeup, but I still kept like my facial hair, which some of you guys, if you guys have been Ride or Die supporters, you know, I had facial hair and like while my hair was growing out and all of that, but like I was still wanted like long hair, and I still wanted to present as feminine as I possibly could. So I still wore like feminine clothes as much as I could. Like my wardrobe was kind of half and half. Like I never wore dresses or heels or anything, but I wore girl jeans and I wore girl like t-shirts and stuff like that, but the rest of my clothes were like typically male. Then it became a point where I was really, really low. Like I got to my lowest low ever no, maybe not ever. I got to my lowest low and I was like, oh God, like I was talking to my really good friend Danielle, and I was telling her, I was like, I really, really, really want to get back on hormones. I was like, please, I was like, force me to call the doctor. I'm like, I'm just so nervous. I really want to get back on hormones because I really want to start living my life the way that I should. So I was about 21 at the time, and I was like, you know what? Like, I need to do this for me. So I went ahead and I called my endocrinologist again, and I was like, hey, like, I would like to schedule another appointment. I was a patient of yours a while ago, and I would really like to schedule another appointment. So I scheduled an appointment, and I went in and I kind of explained the whole situation to him, how it wasn't the right time for me to transition at the time that I did at 19. Plus I was so young, and that's hard to do when you're that young. It's hard to do now, but like I wish I kind of stuck it out back then because I'd be a lot farther in my transition than I am right now, but I am content with how everything had happened. I went to my doctor and he prescribed me hormones, which was in May of 2016. So I was so excited. I was as happy as I could be. So I was taking my hormones and I was continuing to live my life. I had not yet presented as female yet. I still had facial hair and I was growing my hair out. And slowly I was taking hormones, and about, I'm gonna say around my birthday, which is in November of 2016, I had really started to get depressed, and I was like, what is wrong? I was like, I'm on hormones. I'm doing what I can to transition, so what is the problem? Like, I don't understand what my problem was. So I really had wanted to shave my face for the longest time, but the reason that I kept it for so long, which a lot of you guys probably don't know because I've never really talked about it, is I obviously have really thick facial hair, and I just was so nervous about not being able to quote unquote pass, that if I shaved it, like you'd be able to see stubble and 5 o'clock shadow and this and that, and like people would just be able to tell that like I was like a boy, and that was my biggest fear. I would rather walk out of my house with a full beard and a beautiful smoky eye and long hair and people would be like, what is that? Than being like, oh, that's a boy in a dress. Like for some reason, not all trans people go through that, but I was nervous I was never gonna be able to pass. That is a really shitty feeling when you are like nervous that when you go out in public, that when people are staring at you, like, are they staring at me because they can tell like what's going on in their head? And I used to be so anxious, like I would never want to go out in public anymore because I was like, I don't want to have to deal with society. After like a month and a half of being super depressed, I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. So on New Year's Eve of December 31st, 2016, I had shaved my beard for the first time. And that was the most liberating feeling I have ever felt in my whole entire life. So January 1st, I'm not gonna get emotional, but it's just so exciting. Like January 1st, 2017, New Year's Eve, I wore this nude dress, no facial hair, makeup done, hair done, and I felt like I could take on the world. Like I had never felt so good in my whole entire life. I had never felt so right in my whole entire life. And then I did that night. And I was like, you know what? This is it. I need to do this. So I had started laser hair removal, I think 2 weeks after I had shaved my face. And that started the journey. So the next couple months of like laser and stuff like that, I had gone through, I don't know, the more my hormones started to take the effect and change my body, the more happy I became. So when I started to notice my hips widening, and when I started to notice a lot of breast development, when I started to notice my hair thinning, when I started to notice everything, I just became happier. And then we fast forward to where we are right now. And I can honestly say to you guys, after a year and a half of like fully transitioning from a year and a half ago. I am so happy with my life, and there is so much more to go though. Like, I am content with where I am right now. I've never been happier and more at peace with who I am. Like, when I go out in public now, like, I don't, like, if someone is staring at me, like, it's not that I'm like worried that they can tell that I'm transgendered. I have asked people before and they have had no idea that I was transgendered. So, to all the people on my last video, I got my eyes on you. You guys are probably like, why is she making this video? Like, what is the whole point of it? But I wanted to kind of let you guys know that it has not been all sunshine and roses, and I have been through a struggle, and I am still conquering now. Like, I'm still, you have to be willing to want something bad enough. And I know that a lot of people out there who are transgendered may not have the support of their family, and that is tough. But from one girl to another, or boy, or whatever, I want to let you guys know I will always be your support system. So if you guys are at home and whatever, and your parents do not support you, your grandparents don't support you, your sister, brother, anything, just know I support you in anything that you guys do. Like, anything. And I also want to tell you guys, it does get better. Like, it honestly gets better. Like, I thought when I first started transitioning way back when I was 19 that my parents were never going to be okay with it, and then I was just never going to talk to them again, and I was just going to live a life without them. Like, I really honestly thought that. To where I am today, where my parents have changed pronouns, have changed names. My grandparents, who are 70, have changed pronouns and have changed names. And like, people do change, and like, they learn to like accept it, and you just have to give them time. So I don't want anybody out there thinking that their parents are never going to accept them. And honestly, sometimes they don't, but you just have to give it a chance for them to kind of come around and realize that, you know what, like, their son or daughter is going to be happier whatever way that they are, then they will eventually come around. I promise you. I promise you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys are going through any struggle in your life, just know that you guys can overcome it. I swear to God, I did, and so can you, and I'm still overcoming things every single day, and I just want you guys to know never to give up. Life is too short to be anybody but yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on Thursday.